All right, so in this episode, we got Garret here, who went from having only $300 to his name to exiting a company for $5 million. Garret, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you came from, bro.
Got it. So I'm Garret.g3, 2Rs1T at Instagram. Find me there. You know, I've started over a few times in life, right?
Yep.
And every time I start at the bottom again, it's one of those things where I go back to my core principles, right? I go back to my core beliefs. I go back to doing the same thing at the same time each and every day. I go back to the diet, the nutrition, the exercise, the meal plan. These are the foundational principles that have helped me succeed, not only in life, with family, with kids, but business as well, right? And so whatever I'm doing, right, you know, it's not always full speed ahead, but I'm always back to those principles to get full speed again. So that's kind of been the value add to my life that I've fallen back to again and again.
Yeah. And why do you think that works for you though? Because a lot of people think it's like, to be able to succeed in life, it's like this like magical, mystical thing. It's like a blueprint, a tactical strategy, some type of thing that's out there, and if they find it, they'll be successful. Why do you fall back on your habits, your routines, your disciplines? Why do you think that made you who you are today?
Well, it's that monotonous routine, right? Where you put one foot in front of the other, right? And you stack up a lot of those days doing the same thing. Whether it's in business and we're cold calling, it's these blocks of time and these systems and these processes that if you're training, if you're building a business, whatever it is, you've got to block your time. You've got to have a list, and you've got to go back to like doing the same things over and over and over again. If we got to walk 100 miles, right?
Yep.
Like, how are we going to get there? Well, one foot in front of the other each and every day. We just do it.
Yep.
And so that's kind of how it's helped me stack it up.
But why do you think most people cannot handle that?
It's the lack of discipline.
Yep.
It's the lack of, making yourself do uncomfortable things. And the faster you can get comfortable with getting told no 15, 20, 30 times an hour, right, you're going to succeed. And so it's the discipline, it's the fortitude to keep going when it feels difficult. Trying to lose weight or gain muscle, and you're not really seeing results, but then all of a sudden after 4, 5, 6 weeks of stacking this time up, now you got results, right? You start to see your ab coming in or whatever it is.
Yep. Because I'm pretty sure everybody's interested in wondering how the fuck you went from $300 to exiting a company for $5 million.
I was at rock bottom. I had $300 trying to find my new way. What I did, I started buying some website URLs. You know, I was on GoDaddy.com and I'm buying these $3 URLs. It's like half my money on faith, right? And at the time, I didn't have an LLC. I didn't have a real company. I didn't have any employees, but I had an idea and I needed something to sell off of, so I needed a website. And then I'm on Craigslist looking for a web developer. And once I had that built out, now I had something to sell. And then it was just hit the phones. And so at the time, I had one of my buddies, he owned a nonprofit, and he had a little office. This thing, it was like the size of a closet. And I'm cold calling every day. I'm setting these blocks of time, right? So it's wake up at 5 a.m., it's hit the gym, it's eat my oatmeal, it's prep my meals, it's get to the office, it's cold call. You know, this is how I did it.
And is that part of the discipline and the routines, and that's what you fell into, and that's what you just focused on that got you to where you got to?
100%. Yeah, great question. So, if you want to know how I did it, okay, I stacked up a bunch of days doing the same shit over and over again. And when it looked bleak and everybody told me no, I just kept going. And I learned a long time ago, one of the first jobs that I had was in a telemarketing office, right? Like me and my buddy you met last night, we used to sell newspaper subscriptions.
Yep.
And so we learned the art of getting told no and being like, fuck it, we're getting closer to a yes, right? So, you get 50, 60 no's stacked up. A lot of guys would be demoralized by that. But it's like, I get excited because I know I'm closer to a yes.
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
And these disciplines, now you've passed this down now. So tell me a little about the little savage.
Oh, man. So, my little boy, he's 7. National champ wrestler, folk style, freestyle, and he's doing real good, right? So what we did is we started wrestling at one club. We got pretty good, right? And I'm coaching him the whole time. I mean, he's on a diet. He exercises. He does, the Dagestani Russian neck exercises every day. I mean, he knows, what time it is, and it's the same principles that I've implemented over the course of the years, and it's just work, right?
Yeah.
Like wake up, don't be a bitch, and work. And so that's it. I'll see guys out. I got a pretty good sized ranch.
Yeah.
and I'm like, you want to end up like those fucking guys, or like you want to be a boss? Wake up. We constantly chase the best kids.
Yep.
So we go to tournaments, you know, we'll be in Vegas, we're in Oklahoma, we're all over. And we find good kids, we make friends with their dads, and we level up, just like me and you, right? Iron sharpens iron. We find the right guys. We want to level up with them. And if they can beat us, good, right? That's what we want. We don't want to be the strongest guy in the gym. We don't want to be the toughest guy boxing. We want to go in there where everybody could beat us and get better really, really fast.
Yeah.
And that's how we hack the system, cut in line, and make shit happen, right?
Yeah. And that's beautiful, man, because you're breeding the next generation of men. And so I know there's going to be a fucking dad out there that says, oh, you're being too hard on your son. Oh, don't do that stuff. What are your thoughts on that? And how did that shape your son and your bond and your relationship with your son?
Bro, motherfuckers tell me that all the time. They say, oh, yo, you know, oh, your kid's a national champion. That's great. But be careful. And it's like, look, I'm not a dumbass, right?
Yeah.
So like when my boy's tired, I let him rest. When he's hurt and he's injured, he's a little beat up, we kick it, right? We take days off. But the common theme is we're pushing it. Yeah. And to the limit, right? Yeah. And then we're learning. You know, the whole goal is like through these trials and errors and these tribulations that we experience, we learn, and not just learn from the experience, but we also learn from each other and the dialogue like this, right? Yeah. So, you know, people tell me, oh, you got to be careful. You won't want to burn them out or whatever. But, you know, I look at, you know, I always go back to like, you know, foreign countries and guys that are the best at everything, right? You look at like the Russians, the Dagestanis, Khabib, all these different top level guys. They've all been training since they're 5 or 6, right? Mm-hmm. You think Khabib's dad was worried about pushing him too hard? Fuck no, right? Yeah. He's like, look, you're going to become a warrior or else, right?
And it's usually the people that aren't warriors that have all the comments in the world because they don't understand the mentality. They don't understand the discipline. They don't understand what it takes and the sacrifice to become that person. And you bred that early in your son. That's a beautiful thing. And that's why when I saw that picture, when you showed it to me, I was like, I can see it in his face. I can see it in his eyes. Oh, yeah. He's a savage. He's a killer right there.
He is, man. He got a shaved head. He's jacked. He works out. You know what I mean? Like, he eats oatmeal for breakfast. You know, he's on it, right? Yeah. So, and I talk to him like this, right? A lot of people think that, like, you got to tone things down for your kids. And to a certain degree you do, because mentally they're not able to really deal with certain things as a child, right? But my underlying theme is like, talk to him like a man. Talk to him like a real person, right? No baby talk. No, like, none of this shit, bro. We don't do it, right? Yeah. It's like, hey, check it out. It's time to get up, brush your fucking teeth, and let's go, right? 100%. So it's just like us.
Yeah. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Tell us a little bit about this $5 million exit.
Okay, so, you know, I had a service-based business specializing in permits, entitlements, pre-construction real estate development. I was in the San Francisco Bay Area market, right? So, you know, it's a tough market. A bunch of, like, old Irish guys and you know, cliques you can't get into, right? Right. You know, like, my competition was third generation, been there since 1920. You know, so I'm knocking on the door trying to get in. Everyone's like, fuck you, right? But, like, I'm going to keep knocking. It's what I do, you know? And so I started getting some projects and some traction. And I realized early on that, like, I was kind of the focal point of the business, right? And it was a service-based business. So everybody tells me, hey, you can't sell a service-based business. It's impossible, right? And I wanted to prove them wrong. And so what I did is I implemented systems and processes and software as service and created a client list that was protected, right? Under trade secrets. And I did these things to create tangible assets that I could sell. And so if you guys are interested in selling a business and want tangible, you know, to create tangible assets, let's do it. Hit me up. We can make this happen, right? 100%. I mean, because you can sell a service-based business. I was gobbled up by a private equity company, and the business roll-up model and what these guys do, if you can show them that you got a system and a process and tangible assets and a protected client list and all the shit you need to really scale, you can sell it. Yeah. You know, and that's what I did. So, you know, I built it from the very beginning. I knew I wanted to sell it. I always had the vision, and I was able to sell it, right? Now I've got the time to do stuff like this and train my boy and, you know, relax a little bit, right? You know, and do the type of stuff that I've always kind of wanted to do. Yeah. You know? And
so was it worth it, the years of the discipline and the boring shit that everybody wants to give up on? Was it worth it to go through that to become the man I see right here before me today?
It was worth it, right? The sacrifice, the discipline, all the stuff we're talking about is worth it. But one of the failures that I had, right, is I was so focused on me and my business and doing my routine, right, that I missed the opportunity to network and really take advantage of the you know, skills that others have, right? Like the conversations you and I are having and the conversations we're having with Wes and Andy and all these guys here at the mastermind, right? You know, we can learn so much from each other. So if I could do it again, the only thing I would really kind of redo would be like, look, I'm going to focus on doing my routine, building my business, being a fucking grinder, you know, working 8, 10, 12 hours a day. But I'm going to take the time every month, every 2 weeks, and I'm going to seek out guys that are better than me to teach me and help me. Because I think I could have scaled that thing and sold it in 2, 3 years versus the 6, 7 years it took me, right?
Right.
And so I lost a lot of time, you know, by not leveling up around others, right? And so now, you know, kind of the, you know, I got a successful exit, you know, made some money, you know, I do real estate deals and other shit, you know, but now I'm committed. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm taking what I learned and I'm finding other guys that are good and better, and we're all networking together.
Yeah.
So, and that's what it's all about. So if you want to network with some of the top guys, hit us up.
Yeah, 100%. And so I want you guys to realize, like, this is an underdog story. That's what it is. $300 to exiting a company for $5 million. And a lot of people, especially in that industry, don't think it's easy to exit a company, and you were able to do it. What are your lasting words for these guys here that are listening, and how can they reach out to you, bro?
Man, I got a lot to say, but like what it all boils down to is this: hard work, discipline. Go back to your foundational core beliefs, right? Focus on diet, focus on nutrition, get your body right first. Because if your body's not right, your mind's not right, and then you got nothing to offer on a business note, right? So focus on that first, get that down, make that the priority each day, right? And then when you have that, translate all those things to business, okay? And then find people that can help you. They have done it, right? So if you guys have got a business, you want to scale, you want to exit, you want to figure it out, hit us up because we can get you there.
All right. Drop your Instagram handle so these guys can reach out to you.
It's Garret.g3, 2 R's, 1 T.
Let's get it. Awesome,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
Appreciate you being on.
Hell yeah. Thank you.